Hey guys, what's going on? It's Link here. Welcome to my very first Blue Protocol video ever. So with that being said, in this video I will be covering everything that is brand new that they have recently changed as of December 11th, 2022 in this game. Now keep in mind, this video is pretty long. It's about an hour long of me covering everything. However, I want to ask you guys a favor. If you guys do not like this format where I cover everything and I go in depth with absolutely every single little change, let me know and I could shorten this down to like 20-25 minutes and I could just like, speed through every change without like completely explaining everything. But if you guys like this kind of video, feel free to let me know. And also, please subscribe for more Blue Protocol content. And last but not least, in about 4 days from now, there's going to be another Blue Protocol live stream that they're going to have, and whatever that they show in there I will make sure to make a video for too, assuming it is new content. If it is, I'll make a video, break it down and stuff like that, and I will upload it to the channel. So if you guys want to subscribe, that would be amazing for more Blue Protocol content. And yeah, enjoy the video and I will see you guys next time. We're going to go over through this list. Again, there's a bunch of chapters or parts or whatever of different information for Blue Protocol here. And this was posted November 16th, 2022, by the way. So we shall watch this together. And we'll put it on full screen real quick. And let's see. So, communication deep dive number 5, global news, beta, and more. Okay, so introduction. So this is the stream that they had or whatnot at that specific date that I said earlier. Then we have the video that we just recently watched right now, and this is them announcing that in Japan it'll be open and ready to go in spring 2023. So that is correct. Japan will be getting it first. And then of course, depending on the stress of these servers and if everything goes right, then there should be no no pushbacks or anything of that nature. But they are still looking for like feedback and whatnot. That's the, I'm pretty sure this is the direct or the test, excuse me. So that's when they're having that. It's for a couple days in Japan, which is pretty good. They're gonna only accept 50,000 players in a lottery system, by the way, and they'll start to like bring them in slowly to essentially stress the servers, right? Which is normal. I mean, every game does this, so that's pretty nice. This is only Japan, though. I don't know how they'll do it out here, because if it's gonna be on Amazon servers, I don't know. Actually, no, they will have to do this because New World is on Amazon servers, and they did the same thing. They put out different servers per X amount of hours because it's a little crazy. Here's a big one: graphics, presets, recommended specifications. This is big because I know some of you guys play on laptops, some of you guys play on PC, some of you guys play on console. So here it is. So low graphics, by the way, Windows 10, obviously. You need, honestly, that CPU is not that, well, I mean, it's low graphics, right? So that makes sense. Regardless, though, you need 8 gigs of RAM. Regardless of if you're playing low, high, highest, or whatever, you need 8 gigs of RAM, period. So double check your PCs, your laptops, and whatnot, and you need 8 gigs. If you're on PS5 or the new Xbox, they haven't said anything about that in terms of like, does it run at 120 FPS or does it run at 60 FPS? But chances are it's probably going to be 60, because Final Fantasy XIV, I believe, it runs at 60 and it also plays in 4K. So I would not be surprised if this is the same: 60 4K, 60 1080p, or maybe 120 1080p. We don't know. Britt, you can definitely run this. Emissary, if you ever play this for some reason, you can definitely run this. You run Guild Wars 2, so you could probably just run your stuff at like high graphics too, just like Guild Wars 2. Aragon, I think you should be able to run this, dude, in low graphics or high graphics. By the way, it seems that high graphics is medium graphics, and then highest graphics is high graphics. But I think you should be able to run this too. I'm pretty sure. You run Monster Hunter Rise just fine, so I think you might be able to run this just fine too. But it is an MMO where like it changes throughout the areas that you're in, right? Like, for example, your computer might be fine outside of a town, but the minute you go in a town, right, it might go all crazy. Kind of like in Guild Wars, it's fine all over the place. But then when you go to like those world bosses with like 150 people everywhere, you know, it can get a little too chaotic and crazy for your computer. So there's that. Then it also says it's a rough guide to the situations and the environment and stuff like that. Obviously, what I just mentioned. Playing in 4K resolution is possible if your screen and GPU supports 4K. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this also runs in 4K on PS5 and whatnot. So there you go. You can set it on highest graphics, possible 4K, custom higher for PCs. I already said this. HDR is not supported. Your screen supports HDR. Please turn the function off to play the game. No HDR. I don't think anyone's going to complain, to be honest. But there you go. There is that. I think this is subject to change, though, if I'm being honest, because like it's not out yet, right? So chances are they're probably still going to work on it and see what's up. And then here it says there are technically 4 graphics presets available: low, medium, high, and highest. Okay, so never mind. High graphics is high graphics. There is mediums, but they didn't show it. But the image currently only displays 3 settings. Note the presets low and medium are unchanged from the closed beta, but high has changed both in requirements and in effects. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if these change a bit more even later. With this update, they added a 4th new preset known as highest graphics, as well as additional custom settings to go even beyond the preset for graphic settings like 4K. It is now possible to choose a new graphic settings, which is better than the highest graphic settings known as above. The new setting is known as custom graphic settings. The team wanted to note that using the custom settings requires a stronger PC. Okay, I mean, this is straightforward. I won't read any further. I feel like this makes sense for like any game. All right, so then here they explain a couple of the classes and what they do. There's like mini videos to see the classes. Oh, there is about like 5 more classes or whatnot that they have, and they'll bring them out later on. We've seen the pistols already, and there's also apparently like a rifle. I think it's a rifle. I'm not sure, but they plan on releasing them later on. Don't really know when later on, but I don't know, maybe like one every 6 months or like one every year or something. So there's that. Here's more. Oh yeah, these are the weapons that are coming out. I think we all know this, but the Aegis Fighter, the Twin Striker, the Blast Ranger or Archer, excuse me, the Spellcaster, and the Heavy Smasher. Also, I think we assumed, but confirmed that Britt, you'll like this. I myself also like this because I'm ranged, but confirmed. Mages, archers, and pretty much any range, when you attack, you can aim your abilities, but if you click a button, it'll lock on, so that you don't have to aim anymore. The thing will just lock on to the monster, period, and you don't have to aim at all whatsoever. When you run around in a circle, it'll just keep the camera on the reticle, excuse me, on the monster and rotate the camera for you. If you rotate the camera afterwards, the camera will rotate, but your character will still remain facing that direction attacking. That way you can look around for like AoE abilities and stuff like that. So yeah, there is auto lock on creatures and whatnot. So that's pretty nice because you know, little monsters can get a little crazy to aim at, excuse me. Then they announced this. We know this. This is from the Game Awards. Here we go. More new stuff. By the way, this right here, what's in purple and blue, by the way, this is what the community asked for feedback on the last test. So if I read this and it sounds like I'm like it's not them talking, it's because it's the community asking for these changes and it's them fixing this. So the community asked, I want more character creation parts. Also, I want more voices, preferably ones that reflect on the age. So like deeper voices and like squeaky voices and stuff. And then they respond with, moving on to character creation game screen, it seems that they have that they will be adding more hairstyles, colors, including 2 colored hair, more eyelashes, eye styles for your characters too. Hairstyles can be flipped horizontally, and you can choose hair that covers your left or right eye. Dark skin characters, skin options are available as well. Eyebrow type, eye reflections, and so on. These are additions from the ones available beforehand. There is also an option to add body paint, scars, and moles. Not shown in the video, there is also more voices being added along with presets to start your character creation form. So pretty much they've revamped the hell out of this. Like they doubled it pretty much, almost tripled it. So good shit on them. I personally don't care too much about this because like at some point you're gonna wear a helmet. Well, I don't know, maybe you run around with that one. But yeah, some of the stuff doesn't really matter to me too much, but I know some of you guys do care. The next change was I want more costumes, accessories. I want to be able to test them beforehand. So like preview for Guild Wars 2. And here it says, here are some new costumes and accessories which are displayable. There are 7 accessory slots in total: head, eyes, cheeks, ears, hands, back, and hips. Rings are difficult to see in the screenshot, but they're trying to find a solution for that. They are visibly implemented and fitting before buying. So more of the story is they changed it so you can see the items in preview before buying them. Some games don't do that. Example, what's it called? Phantasy Star Online. You can't actually preview, from what I remember. You can't preview the items that you see in the shop, which is weird. So like when you buy it, you better know what it is or look it up on Google. Guild Wars 2 is really good at this. You can literally preview the equipment on you. Oh, here's another one. New World. If you buy something from the shop, your only option is to see it in the shop. You cannot put it on your character and see it before you buy it, which is really weird, but there you go. That's at least from what I remember, but I honestly I may be wrong. So they changed that. Also, they added more 7 accessory slots for you to like decorate even more, right? From what I remember, you could in the shop, in the NPC shop or in the player shop, like the market or I can't remember, to be honest, but I remember not being able to, but I could be wrong. Somebody else said this: we want underwear. And the developers replied with, the developers note that they will oblige to this feedback. Do not worry. And we know that this is actually legit because we saw on the menu in the other video that there's like an underwear tab, and we talked about it. I was like, what the fuck is that? So there you go. There is now underwear in the game because the community wants underwear. So honestly, no, like that actually makes sense because like there's gonna be people that RP, right? And if there's like a water town or like a beach area, sure. I mean, why not, right? I mean, there's gonna be people that are gonna use it for something else. Like for example, in Final Fantasy 14, there's literally people walking around naked with an underwear and a bear, like an actual teddy bear hat, and they just kind of stand there and dance or like flex in like Limsa Laminsa in that's the name of the town, by the way, in Final Fantasy 14. So honestly, I would expect people doing that in this game, running around completely naked with like some funny looking boar hat or something. What else? This is another thing. It's difficult to increase my adventure rank. I guess they want like easier methods to increase your adventure rank or something, and they replied with introducing a new feature, the adventure board. Each field on the board has its own tasks. If you clear these tasks, let me zoom in here. There you go. If you clear these tasks, the lines activate to unlock the next field. It's a form of skill tree system where you get to choose which path you go. Unlocking each path, unlocking each part of the path and the tree will reward you with items, some extra EXP, as well as stamps. Don't really know what stamps are for, but I have to assume these right here. Get 11 and then you get a chest, I'm assuming, because that looks like a stamp, but I could be wrong. The typical leveling progression is that you go for an adventure, complete the task that unlocks the goal field, accept and clear the rank up quest like a CBT, then get to the next adventure board to unlock. So you just keep going and keep going and keep going. It seems like there's going to be a good amount of adventure boards all around the town, maybe like one per town or a couple, I don't know. Previously in the CBT, you crafted imagines and handed those in and sometimes interfered with the story progression. We separated these concepts and we've shown you here in the board for the adventure rank up. So obviously I didn't play the last test, but it seems that they're making it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't play the last one, but it seems like they're trying to make it so that this is a thing that you can do it easier, but at the same time you can, do it separately and it doesn't interfere with the story or any of that stuff, which is great. It's actually pretty nice. It's kind of like the quest in Guild Wars. Like there's a lot of quests. There's no quest boards, but there's a lot of quests all over the place, and you can do them in the middle of you doing your story, or not, or you can do them later on, or literally do that and not story at all, and it won't interfere with each other whatsoever. So it might be something more or less like that. But of course, this is actually like a freaking guild bulletin board kind of thing that you walk up to, or well, rather this seems to be like a within your menu, but I could be wrong. Via the new boards for weapons and enhanced images, you can earn materials from unlocking further progression on the board. Developers are aware that if you're just going to grind materials to craft equipment, that it'll tire you out, so they've implemented subtasks where you can fulfill them over time. Gradually, you'll gain enough to craft an item that you want. It also becomes easier to play with friends. When playing in a party, other members clearing enemies will also count towards your task. Nice. I like that. Hell yeah. That way you can work together. Especially, like, for example, if you're both the same class and you're both grinding for that exotic bow, then that makes sense, right? Like, you both grind together, make it easier and faster, and everybody's happy. So, very nice on them. That's a new change. It wasn't like that. Everybody had to do it on them by their own. Here's another one. The camera makes things difficult to see when locked on enemies. It is easy to get disoriented. They replied with, lots have been done with the camera system. They will continue working on it. There was an additional player comment during this section about people getting motion sickness from the way the camera was too close to the player. The developer stated that this issue has now been fixed and the camera is a bit further away now. That's good. That makes sense. I mean, it's an MMO, so like I assumed that you would be able to zoom out, so it seems that they've allowed you to, they fixed that, so nice. Here's another one. It's hard to know the differences between enemy levels. Let me zoom in here on this. Oh, it actually doesn't really zoom in well. They replied with, the developers are going to make it easier to discern when enemies levels deviate from yours. The nameplate changes its color like this. You can see the icons and color change. Okay, this one. Okay, they've also introduced level differences, damage, and XP modifiers. In general, fighting appropriate level enemies will be most efficient. Okay, that makes sense. Right, that makes complete sense, because like you shouldn't be getting a lot of EXP fighting monsters that are lower than you or anything of that nature. But you should also be able to tell if a monster is way too strong and whatnot. In certain games, they add like a skull, or for example, Xenoblade, right? They add like cool banners or whatnot. Or other games, they're completely like bright red, telling you, no, don't fight this character because he's about to knock you out. Some people, obviously, they can easily see it, right? Like, it's like, you're level 20, don't be fighting that level 40. But I guess people need help on like figuring this out. This is super small, so you can't see it, but these are the changes that they did to like the monsters. Apparently, there's a white one, a blue one, I think that's green, a yellow one, a red one, and then a purple one. So there's that. And their name changes color, like gray is super easy and bright red is super hard for you. Yeah, so they're trying to like make it a little bit easier, pretty much, chat. So that's pretty good. It's actually pretty damn nice. The skill build freedom is really restricted. Some skills feel too unknown and disconnected from the class. It also feels like there is very little benefit in matching synergistic skills. So I guess people didn't really like the skill tree or whatever it is that they use in this game. And they replied with, currently, these issues are being addressed by performing adjustments. For example, there will be things that are removed, like height difference bonus when you gain bonus damage by attacking from an elevated point. Not every area will have a high ground area to attack far from. I'm assuming pretty much what they're saying. Well, actually, that makes sense, right? Because people are complaining that they can't really use the skills too often. So yeah, removing this makes sense, because it's like, how often are you going to be near a high point where you can use that to your advantage? Meaning, if you're not often near a high point, that's a waste. That's a waste of a skill. You know, I'd rather have something useful there. Additionally, they have revealed the new UI for Blue Protocol. For tactical skills, you are now able to change them freely through the menu. There is also a new feature called class sharing, where you can share skills with other classes. That more or less makes sense because in Final Fantasy 14, although you can't share skills with other classes, you can share skills with like your the class below, like warrior to paladin and stuff like that. Some of them carry over, so it might be something more or less like that. Someone said battles feel too linear. Everything feels the same. They replied with, they are looking into creating variety and battle content, where different battles may require you to do different things based on enemy patterns. But as they create them, it is not a surefire thing that it will be receptive, amongst the players, so that they are doing the best they can. In short, they are looking into increasing battle variety. This is honestly something that all MMOs struggle, because they're MMOs. There's billions of mobs all over the place. At some point, a mob is going to have the same attack as another mob at some point, right? So making them unique is a little bit difficult. More often than not, you see the unique shit in dungeons and in raids, and in overworld bosses and stuff like that, but you don't really see the unique stuff often in like just regular mobs. I guess they're trying to do that in this game, which props to them if they can pull it off, because I can't really think of like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, they all have different mobs, sure, but like they're relatively the same. They're not anything special where I'm like, oh, I remember these in specific, unless again dungeons, rates, and whatnot. Someone responded with, dungeons feel like they only exist as speedruns. The mobs feel pointless. We want rare items to drop, like weapons from dungeons, and even if they are a low drop rate. This one is fucking huge. It's my #1 complaint about Guild Wars 2. This one specifically. I'm going to read this again because I stand by this hard. It says, dungeons feel like they only exist for speedruns. The mobs feel pointless. We want rare items to drop, like weapons from dungeons, even if the drop rate is really low, pretty much. This is huge. I cannot stress this enough. They do this in Final Fantasy 14 too. This isn't just Guild Wars, but it's the one that I'm playing right now. In Guild Wars 2, I swear to you, I've been playing for a while, right? And when I play with randoms and dungeons or fractals with randoms, which I have been doing for the last 2 days, people literally just run by everything. They just completely skip every single monster they see unless they're forced to fight it to carry on to the next area. Other than that, they completely skip. There's a lava fractal, there's a lava fractal that you literally can skip like majority of it and just run straight through everything on that if you really wanted to, and just get to the very end. You only fight like a couple things and that's it, and you get your loot at the end. That's really, really annoying. I personally don't like that. I like to be able to fight everything in the game so that you know that, you know, things drop shit, and because of that you want to fight everything for a chance to get that cool loot, even if it's a low drop rate. It makes sense. They do that too in New World. A lot of people literally skip a bunch of mobs just to get to the very end where the chests are. So I don't like that. Some MMOs are better than others, but I'm not a huge fan of that. So they replied with this: developers understand that speedrunning with... Oh, also, before I read this, it's also really annoying because if you're new and you want to experience everything at least one time properly, and then after that you don't give a shit if you speedrun or not. That's me, by the way. I want to play one dungeon completely normally. After that, I'll run through it with you, no sweat. But because new players, when they queue up with randoms, it's a 50-50. You either get the sweaty people that are like, yo, step on it, move it, we gotta go, or you get kicked. Or you get someone that respects it and they're like, all right, fine, sure. And people don't want to deal with that. So they responded with, developers understand that speedrunning was a big issue. They talked about this topic last time. Now, in order to advance, you have to defeat all enemies within the dungeon. Dungeons will have several battle areas. If you ignore the monsters which chase you, they will follow you to the other areas and make the battle area more crowded, which will increase the difficulty. If you want to group up enemies together using crowd control skills and do a huge party chain, that is possible too. Additionally, the image above shows a prompt saying mission clear rewards have been added. This means that they are working to implement rare drop materials and items. Who knows? You might get a rare item by clearing missions. However, if you do not clear everything in the dungeon, you will not be able to obtain the rare treasure box, which has the rare items in it. Fucking 10 out of 10. It literally states, if you want to run to the very end, go for it. But all the mobs are running with you. And at the end, you can fuck them all up together and that's fine. Cool. I'm down with that. That's dope. I don't care. But because you still fight everything. And everything has a chance to drop something. And everything has a small chance to drop a rare item. But not only that, complete all the tasks, and at the end, you get a treasure box, a rare treasure box, which gives you a rare item in it, like a higher chance of getting a rare item. This is fucking phenomenal. I wish all MMOs would do that. Basically, you can do stuff fast but less loot. If you do everything, you get rare. Exactly. You do everything, you do all the achievements or whatever, and you get the good loot, the big chest at the end, right? And if not, you can do it all fast and just, Again, more of the story is, you can run through everything, but you cannot go fight the boss until you kill every mob in that dungeon. So technically speaking, you can run to the boss's door, but all the mobs will run with you, AoE the hell out of them if you can, and then once they're all dead, you can enter the boss room. That's cool. That's fine. You want to do it that way, whatever, I guess. But this is dope. This is nice. I don't know how well this will actually be, in the sense of, like, I don't know how many players will be like, no, the meta's just to run to the end, kill them all fast, and then do this or whatever or whatnot. But this might still keep the speedrunners, technically speaking, because some of them might literally just make the fastest routes to get to the end and be like, all right, bring bow users, bring mage users, and bring gunners. That's it. Don't bring anything else, because those are the only ones with massive AoEs. They might do that. Some of the sweaties might actually do that, and they might like really hinder this. However, the way that they can fix this is if the dungeons has floors, right? So like you can't go to the next floor until you kill everything. That's one way that they can fix this. We know that you can't go to the boss room without killing everything, so that's another way. Number 10. They said, I want to be able to set battle effects, displays, and details. I want to be able to set battle effects to come out only for myself. I want an option where I can disable other player effects, but only show healing effects. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but this one's more in depth. I agree with this, by the way. Shit gets too chaotic. It's too much. Also, being able to see your friends' healing circles and whatnot. Obviously, you always want to see that. You probably want to see that more than your skills, honestly. But yeah, they responded with, there are options now. These options are now possible. All the options. You can get the set that affects display individually. Example, player 1 attack effect disabled, but healing enabled. Player 2 heal disabled, but attack effect displayed. So 10 out of 10 for getting through that already. Game's not even out yet, and they've already fixed that shit. So good shit on them. Next one, please let us adjust my directional key timings when dodging and moving. I don't know if they mean that you can double tap to dodge, or if they want you to. Actually, no. I think I know what they mean. It's an MMO, so more often than not in MMOs, you dodge the way that you look. I think they want a chance to be able to dodge from left to right without having to look left and right, but rather just be able to click. Let's say dodge is shift. I think they want to be able to click D and shift and A and shift, and to be able to just dodge in the direction of those keys, rather than just forward. Which is nice. If so, then cool. And they replied with, in the settings, you're now able to pick from several options for input timing. There are settings you can choose from pressing buttons consecutively to dodge. Guild Wars has that. I don't like that. I turned it off. Using the standard timing settings, or using a longer timing setting to dodge. Basically, there's a lot of options for you to choose on how to dodge. I'm a fan of the shift dodge, and just click the area that you want to go to, and press the key that you want to go to, and you dodge that direction. That's what I'm into. I'm pretty sure everybody in Guild Wars 2 does that, because if not, you're going to fall off of like platforms if you accidentally double tap. That would be really, really bad. Someone asked, I want to be able to set equipment presets for each class. I want to be able to register my equipment presets. It's very inconvenient where I have to set my Imagine all over again when changing classes. This is a problem that Final Fantasy XIV had for just a tiny bit, but it's completely fixed, and everything's tied to its own with presets and classes and class presets. They replied with, the developers mentioned that all these points will be addressed in the future, and they are working on them. The inconvenience on having to set margins will also be taken out. Nice. Cool beans. They still have a whole like 6 months to fix this, so 10 out of 10. The fact that they're saying they're gonna fix this is more than enough for me. They said, I want to be able to check other class skills without changing classes. I want to be able to learn class skills of other classes without changing into that class. That's a little. I agree with the first part. Second part's a little too much. Like, there's a reason why that class is a class. You shouldn't be able to learn every single skill from that class, or else why bother having classes? So this is a little too ambitious of them. That's a little too much to ask, but I don't know. Let's see what they say. They said you can now check other class skills without having to change to them. You will be able to do the same by choosing which skills to obtain from other classes with possible limitations without having to change classes. Okay, good. Possible limitations. Nice. Instead of obtaining skills, it's more choosing which skills you want to slot in. Everything's about your choice and freedom. All right, cool. So again, limitations. This is nice. Like I said earlier, in some MMOs, they do let you bring stuff over from the other class if it's like a universal skill or a skill that's like, nothing too crazy or like class specific, like requires a shield skill or something like that, requires a greatsword skill or something. So yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's normal. We want a training mode and a striking dummy to attack. This is now possible. We've added a dummy for you to attack. And I guess they posted a video for this. So I guess I'll look at this. Is this their live stream? It's their live stream. Okay. I thought that was a video. So yeah, they've added a dummy. Nice. Honestly, I don't think I would have asked that question. I don't think I've seen an MMO that doesn't have a dummy where you can just go and attack it. A training room though, that's a good part. But a strike dummy, I feel like every MMO has that. I know New World doesn't have a training room. Guild Wars 2 technically doesn't have a training room, but it has a PvP room where you can just go in there. So I guess I'll call it a training room. So yeah, that's nice. 15, we want to be able to sync imaging equipment to your level so that when we switch to a certain class, to a different class, it will not be changed. These points will be addressed and some margin will be adjusted and changed. That kind of fits the other one that we read earlier. So I guess they're going to be worked together. Number 16, we want to be able to continue using my mount without depleting my energy. Yes, using mounts had a stamina meter. Please make it so that the energy does not deplete when stopping. They replied with the following. Your mount will not drain energy when riding the mount. It will only start consuming energy when you use the sprint feature with the mount. Your mount runs faster than the player running even when you're not sprinting on your mounts. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Because, like, for example, Guild Wars has that too. The T-Rex, the Raptor, you run faster anyway at normal speed on the mount than you do off the mount, like way faster. But it also has a stamina meter that if you hold the jump button, you can dash super fast forward, and you can only do it twice before you have to wait for the stamina to come back. So that's cool. That's fine. That makes complete sense. Here's another one. I want to be able to change the minimap size to have a minimap visible in dungeon. Wait, what? I want to be able to change the minimap size and to have a minimap visible in dungeons. Oh, okay. The minimap in dungeons are now available and implemented. The scale enlarge, however, won't be implemented for now because certain considerations. More on game experience considerations and nothing but technical. Okay, nothing about technical. They need to think more before moving forward with this. There will be a new feature called layer map, which shows the map of different floors and different layers. Layer maps edits will also be available, which allows you to change the display locations, etc. Okay, cool. That's fine. It's hard to tell when you have explored all an area on the map. I want bonuses when the exploration is fully complete. Guild Wars has that. Go to every point of interest and all that stuff, and you get a bonus. You get a little chest. Final Fantasy XIV does not have that. Not from what I remember. It says an area will clear up once it is explored. See the difference from left to right. Okay, I see it. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. All right, I mean, yeah, that's straightforward. Nothing about the bonus, like a reward for clearing it up. So maybe that's something that they might do in the future, but they didn't say anything about that. We wanted to be able to see any crafting recipe while I'm out exploring in the zone outside the town. That makes sense. I don't want to have to run back over to the crafting bench and take a screenshot or take a picture with my phone because I can't remember it. New World allows you to ping recipes to the top right of your screen. And it seems that they did that, which is 10 out of 10. So you can now you can now have recipe list, which you can see which has a checklist of the items you need. As you collect them, it will let you know what else you need. Perfect. I mean, Doesn't get better than that, to be honest. We want to be able to see more quests on the screen. I want to be able to view more quests. I want to see the progression I've made in quest. New World, you can put up to 7 quests. Final Fantasy 14, you can put up to like, I don't know, like 5 or 8 or something. Guild Wars, I don't know. Vex, you might be able to answer that, but I'm not sure how many quests you can put up in Guild Wars. So this is something that I hope they know this. It says information is now more visible, and you can see your progression on quests through check marks. They have also increased the amount of quests which are displayed. You can now have 3 quests at a time. You can have 12? Damn, that's a lot. Okay, so in this one, you can only have 3 quests at a time. So keep that in mind. But I wouldn't be surprised if they increase that. So here's 1 quest, here's 2 quests, here's 3 quests. 3 quests at a time is fine. Personally speaking, let's be honest, I usually don't do, like, in New World, I put up like 6 quests, and I only focus on the first 2, so like, that's fine. Maybe in the future if they add like more, that's cool, but I think 3 is okay for now. I hope it's 3 plus your recipe, you know, like I hope the recipe itself doesn't count as one of them, because then that'll only be 2 quests, 1 recipe. So I hope it's 3 and then 1 recipe. All right, so UI. The UI buttons are difficult to see because they are too small. The cursor is too small as well. They replied with buttons are now larger, and additional adjustments have been made with the UI. You are even able to bind your keys to specific options as well. Example, you can set C on the custom options. Press C and the custom window will pop up. Basic keybind technology. Cool. It's like in MOBAs or in other MMOs where you press the I button and your inventory pops up, or you press the tab button and your bag pops up or whatever. So if you map it when you are in the game and not in the menu, you press the button and it'll just take you there automatically. Shortcuts. We love them. This right here is my favorite thing of this page. The only thing that I read of this whole entire page. The position in which class gauges are displayed are in a bad spot. They said, you can adjust your HUD options and move gauges to a better spot. You're also able to move your UI and customize it freely. This is fucking massive. Final Fantasy 14 has been doing this for ages. You can move everything. Whatever you see on screen, you don't like it there, move it the fuck somewhere else if you want to. Move it anywhere you want. This is human. I wish Guild Wars 2 would let me do that, because I don't like having the map only in certain areas. I don't like having the chat only in certain areas. This is huge. I wish all MMOs would do this. World of Warcraft just actually recently implemented this, which is crazy. But yeah, you can move absolutely everything in the game. If you don't want it, make it smaller, make it bigger, and so on and so forth. So that's fucking huge. Humongous. I know it's not an MMO, but Smite also does this. They let you move absolutely everything in the game wherever you want. This is dope, by the way, because a lot of us like to move, for example, if you're a healer, you kind of want to move your team's, you know how like on the top left in any game, even Monster Hunter, on the top left, it usually shows you your team's health, your teammate's health. More often than not, if you're a healer, you want that more towards like the middle of the screen, so you can see it easier and you don't have to look top left or whatever. So being able to move it to the middle will allow you to keep, you know, an eye on it. We want shortcut palettes to display keys. It is hard to tell what key is binded to what item. And they responded with, the shortcut palette now shows which key is set to which item. A customization window is available now as well. You get to customize which button on your keyboard is wired to which item, and you can cycle through your hotbars with keys. It also allows you to put items and emotes to customize your shortcuts link. Go to your game options through the menu. This is good. I mean, you kind of want this kind of stuff, right? Like, so you can have like a shortcut to all your emotes, a shortcut to like your friends list, a shortcut to group finder and stuff like that. So you don't have to like go and click each one of these things, which is pretty good. I like it. I mean, sure. It's hard to tell in the chat log when a player has died. I didn't play this game, so I didn't know that it shows in the chat log when a player dies. But they responded with, the developers use a debug command to demonstrate players getting KO'd to 0 HP. When KO'd, the nameplate will flash in red. this will tell you that the player is KO'd, signaling that you can revive a party member. Now, I'm assuming that when they made the nameplate your teammate, because that makes sense, is he's right here, right? It's pretty small. I know you can't see it, but there's a red line there, and that's your line, and then that's the guy that just got, you know, GG'd. So there you go. Now we can tell if someone is down because their health bar shines red. So nice. I want an option where I can hide my weapon when I am in the city. I think Monster Hunter does that. Actually, no, Guild Wars does this. You can hide your weapons too, in your helmet. It says new option has been implemented. Display when sheathing weapon. Always on. Hide when in the city, and hide when not in combat. And then here's another one. Guild cards. Monster Hunter. I want to be able to customize my profile screen and edit options. Britt, you'll probably spend hella time on this, by the way, because you can pimp this shit out. They replied with, you can now customize your profile to include screenshots you took in game and even make it like an Instagram or social media where you can display several screenshots you took publicly, up to 3 slots for your pictures. And character cards will be improved. This feature is similar to what adventure plates are known in Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV does have something similar to this. So it shows your rank, it shows your level, all that stuff. It shows your 3 most favorite pictures that you want to post here. It shows another picture up here that you can change. It's like your banner picture. It shows your player ID, your name, and then like how many people have liked your social media page or whatever up here, like a thumbs up, right? Like a fresh from like Splatoon or whatever. And then you can leave a comment. And then you can leave like I think this is like a tag or something, like Monster Hunter's like titles or whatever. So, oh, and then it also shows your class right here. So yeah, and you can change your profile picture on this. So technically speaking, you can change your banner picture, your profile picture, and your 3 social media favorite pictures, quote, quote. And there's another 3 tabs, but I don't know what this says. Last but not least, it also says there's also a photo mode where you can take screenshots and select effects. You can take screenshots of your characters while performing actions. In photo mode, you get to choose your gestures, use skill camera focus, character focus, frame angles, blur settings, and zoom in. Once captured, you get to save the screenshot. This is similar to G-Post feature in Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV's screenshot feature or G-Post or whatever is insane. You could do all sorts of stuff. So this is nice. You'll be able to get some cool pictures, and I know some of you guys like this stuff. Again, Brittany, I think this is kind of like more your thing, but this is cool. This is dope. This is nice. And on to the next one. It is hard to tell when a player has wait, what? When a player has had followed my okay, so it's hard to tell when a player has followed my profile card. Remember, it's like social media, right? It's like your like in-game own little social media page that you customize. It is hard to tell who is online, who is offline on my follow list. It might be friends list. In Guild Wars 2, I believe it's called a follow list or a friends list, because when someone, I'm pretty sure that you don't send friend requests, you send a follow or whatever. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. So it's probably something like that. And they replied with, previously, we used the follow system because there was no friends list system that ever really existed, but it was hard to be able to tell anything. This is now changed. The developers said that the follow system will now be redesigned so that the friend request system is now in place by sending a card request to another player. You can now see pending requests, etc. right there. You can see a pending request of someone being sent, that someone sent or whatever. And they're changing it from follower system to friend list system. So now it's called friends list, which is nice because honestly, I kind of like that better, you know? So there you go. I want to be able to separate the chat log window when editing my HUD. I want to have ability to separate and merge them. I want to make it easy to switch between window logs. If you've never played an MMO, you probably don't know what this means. But let me just explain real quick. In an MMO, on the bottom left or somewhere on your screen, you're going to have the chat box. You guys have seen it before. I usually cover it with my social media stuff because, you know, some people can be trolls. However, in the chat log box, there's usually multiple channels in there. There is a world channel where you just talk to everybody. There's a party channel, a guild channel, a combat channel, and so on and so forth. What this person wants is to be able to switch, or rather to be able to like take them apart. Because put it like this, if I'm in a group with 5 people, I will be in the party channel, but I will miss anything that anyone says in the town channel. So what they want is to be able to drag out the town channel and separate it so that you can put it above the party channel. That way you can see both channels and not miss out on anything. This is what they want. So they said that we have added chat log tabs and filters which you can go through. So technically speaking, this isn't them allowing you to separate it, but rather allowing you to create a new channel room where you can add both the town chat and the guild chat and the party chat all together in one box. Guild Wars 2 does that. So this isn't necessarily what they want, but it's essentially what they want, but put together in one big chat. So this is nice. I cannot see my chat log while crafting. I don't know why. Why would you want this? Why would you want this? Actually, no, this makes sense. Yeah. You probably want this for if someone's helping you craft something, then they can still guide you through it through the chat while you're in the crafting screen. So it says you can now set up notifications to see when someone is trying to talk to you now, so you don't miss it. It will show the chat message on top of the screen up here. So there you go. This is perfect in case you are new or you just don't know how to craft something. Someone can help you while you're in that menu. You won't miss out on what they're saying. Number 30, it is difficult for me to click on NPCs because there are too many players. Oh my goodness, yes, Guild Wars. It is difficult to click an NPC because there's too many players on screen, and it is and there are in the way of the NPC. The teleportation gate is always crowded with other party members often, and I cannot see anything. This can be solved by literally having a walk up close, press the E interact button, GG's. Well, let's see what they said. The developers note that there will be a highlight. Wait, the developers note that there will be a highlight glow for specific characters before you click on them. It will mitigate the issue. Additionally, you can switch modes to prioritize character selection. A player list function for nearby players can also be used as well. Okay, so this is not in Guild Wars. This is in Final Fantasy 14 though. Imagine that, like right here where this little part is glowing or whatever, part 3 right here. You can have a little small tiny tab that you can move around the screen wherever you want. But that little tab will show you whatever you want it to show you there. It could show you enemies, it could show you players, or it can show you NPCs. But you can make it set so that it says, show me the X amount NPCs that are near you or whatever. And then you can click that instead of having to click the actual NPC that's surrounded by like 50 people. Honestly though, I think just have an interact button and that's it. All you have to do is just walk up close and then just click the E and you interact with whoever it is. The interact button doesn't work on players. So there you go. You know, they could just do that and call it a day, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. What else? 31. Astraleeds, the city, is heavily populated. I want to be able to display less characters on the screen if possible. Loading times are too long. Guild Wars is a good one there. They have like a set, like a preset on like how many player limit or whatever. You could do like low player limit, high player limit, so on and so forth. The higher the player limit, the more players you see in town. This will depend on your PC specifications as well. However, they're contemplating on adding options to mitigate these issues. I personally don't care for this, but I can see why people might want this. If you have a PC that's barely running the game, you ain't trying to run the game with like 50,000 players all over the world, right? In front of your face. You kind of want to be able to like reduce that. So cool. It's inconvenient that I cannot change classes unless I am near the palace area. You can now equip weapons from a different class and it'll auto change your class, similar to Final Fantasy 14 system, like I've been saying. You do not have to go to an NPC to do this. However, they will not let you change classes out in the field, but now you're able to freely change anywhere in town. That makes sense. Perfect. Cool. This is honestly, Aragon, I know this is like kind of like more or less what I was talking about yesterday and you were saying either or, but this right here is like absolutely new in the world of MMOs, and this is fucking fantastic. So hell yeah, this is actually like top of the top. The fact that all you have to do is just change the weapon and it changed the class. Hella nice. Yeah, literally like Final Fantasy 14 also has the presets, which they said they want to add, but it's not currently in there yet. So once they add the presets, it'll be exactly like Final Fantasy 14. The only thing that will be different from Final Fantasy 14 and this one is that in this one, let's assume they did add the presets. You still have to press start and go click the class and then you switch. However, in Final Fantasy 14, you can just set the buttons on your screen, so you don't have to press start or options or whatever. Just click on it with the mouse, and then you change with the click of a button. They could do that, but who knows? I mean, that's just kind of like maybe. This question is regarding to item stacks in your inventory. Oh, by the way, 100 slots in the back. So that's the biggest bag we've seen so far, 100 slots. The last one we watched, saw yesterday, and the one you talked about today, Aragon, that was 30. But 100 is the one we've seen so far. And it says, this question in regarding to item stacks in our inventory. The bag is too full. Oh, they want to be able to stack. Okay, I see. There's like, what is this? 8 of these? They want to be able to stack these. Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, that can get really annoying. If you can't stack this and you only have 100 slots, yeah, that's kind of tough. Inventory slots are increased, and there are different types of bags for certain items. Items will be sent directly to your storage and are also able to be stacked to a very high amount. Accessing to a storage menu is also possible without needing to be in town. Huh, I wonder how that's going to work. Maybe let me read this again real quick. How are they going to put inventory slots are increased, and there are there's different types of bags for certain items. Right, okay, that makes sense. Like Final Fantasy, I keep using Final Fantasy 14, but it makes sense. Final Fantasy 14 has a key, a quest items bag where only quest items go in there, so that they don't take your personal slots. There's also like a event items bag where only event items go in there, so you don't sell them and stuff like that, and they don't take away your personal slot. I think that's what they mean, and if that's the case, cool. That's dope. I like that. That's nice. But yeah, that separates the things that you shouldn't be selling, the things that don't do anything for you other than progress the story, away from your actual individual storage that should be used for whatever you want. The part that I was confused about, or rather seems a little bit strange, is that it says items will be sent directly to the storage and are also able to be stacked to a very high amount. Accessing the storage menu is also possible without needing to be in town. Okay, so the storage menu is different from the inventory slot. So this is the inventory. Storage menu is another thing, but then you can access it without needing to be in town. So then this is weird. Oh, and here's one thing that is pretty good, right? It does say that the stacks will be pretty high, like a high amount. We don't know what it is, but I hope it's 999, which would be nice. I think the part that I'm just kind of like, I wonder how this is going to balance itself out, because it says that if you are full in your backpack, you could just send it to your storage, but then you could just access your storage from outside the town. But then that kind of defeats the purpose of a backpack. Does that make sense, chat? It's kind of like Dragon Quest Builders 2. Like, you have a magical chest that you can access from anywhere, so why bother carrying a back? Like, you get that? Like, so I wonder what the what the give and take is between this, because if I could just access my storage from anywhere, I'm not gonna ever care if my backpack gets full, because I could just access it from all over the place. So I need a little bit more info on this one, because this one does seem a little bit strange. I like it, don't get me wrong, right? Because I'm always complaining about backspace and Guild Wars, but yeah, I'm a fan of this, but just doesn't really make sense right now. It's difficult to use a slider bar when ordering a set amount of items. Agreed. You can now select a set amount of items usually using the min-max minus plus feature. Cool. So you can do max amount of items that you can buy with the gold that you have. Minimum, click the plus to add 1 by 1. Click the minus to go 1 by 1. Or use the bar at the top, the slider, if you want to instead. Cool. I mean, dope. Sure. Next one. I want to be able to tell which item category I'll be seeing when gathering materials. Yes. Please. All MMOs do this. Please don't be the MMO that doesn't do this. This is now changed. They will have more specific icons for whether it is gathered from an ocean rock, ocean rocks, or through plants. Dope. That's you know, iron ore or whatever. That's plants. That's ocean shit. Guild Wars doesn't have this, by the way, actually, but Guild Wars is very fucking obvious. Like when you're mining an ore, it's a literal ore that you're hitting with the damn pickaxe, so they don't need icons. When you're chopping wood, you're literally chopping wood. You know, like there's no need for a freaking icon for that. So I think that's why Guild Wars can get away with it, because it's very obvious. But yeah, this is nice. I like it. Please allow us to set the exact amount of XP. Wait, what? Please allow us to set the exact amount of XP when leveling items. Previously, we had crafted items that started at level 1, and you were able to level them up to increase the power of their stats. Now they changed it so that your weapons are a fixed level, and you no longer have to worry about leveling up your weapons again. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Cause okay, all right, that makes sense. Cause now they're going off based off of like rarities, like a regular traditional MMO. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I want elements where I can brag about. I want elements where I can brag about achievements. I want content that gives me achievements. Sure, I do too. I think we all want this. The developers have added an achievement menu for various things. I feel like this question was kind of like pointless. I mean, like it's an MMO. They all have achievements. That's what keeps you playing the game constantly, to be honest. But listen, rather, you know, at least we know now. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I want some sort of guild features, like a guild town, or like a guild hall, or like a guild house, or something like that. I wonder what they're gonna say. They said, this is something in consideration. While we can't show a screenshot right now, they are working on some sorts of team features where people can gather and communicate. It's gonna be like a guild hall. Watch. I wouldn't be surprised. The developers commented that this is something one can experience even during upcoming network tests. Ooh. We'll probably find out about this in like a couple days. I wouldn't be surprised when they do their stream in like 5 days or something from now. Number 39. I can't meet up with my party members when moving to another zone, even when in a party. I am in a party, but somehow I am in another channel. But our party broke up because of this. I'm trying to think. Guild Wars has this, right? You're in the same server, but each server has like different channels within there, so that if one channel's packed, it puts you on another one. They said this system works in the sense that when in a party, it works by reservation system when moving from one zone to another. It'll work by reservation amount of members in a party and move them together to another zone for a certain duration. If it doesn't function well, when it doesn't work as an online game to wait, what? If it doesn't function well, then it doesn't work as an online game to begin with. So they are working to address this issue and enhance the feature. Debugging this issue is in progress. They do feel bad that this has happened to a lot during the closed beta test. They will try to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future, and they want to make sure that it is working by testing this in the upcoming network test. Honestly, this is kind of like a big one because it could be really annoying, like if you don't spawn in the same place with them because they're in another instance. But I hope they fix this and it doesn't cause too many issues. Number 40, there are some buttons that cannot be customized. Please allow us to automatically move the cursor when selecting options on the list. It says when using the keyboard directional keys, it will automatically move the mouse cursor from one option to another instead of having to move the mouse. Several demonstrations performed using other controllers are now also able to adjust the speed of the cursor as well as using analog sticks. All right, that's cool. Sure. I mean, I guess if you don't want to use your mouse, you can do this, but it makes sense that they would do this. Honestly, it makes sense that they added this already because you're going to need this for like a controller. Because controllers won't be using a mouse unless they want to add like a virtual mouse, like Destiny or whatever, like the little circle or whatever. Bonus season pass. Here it is. Here it is, chat. Battle pass. Here it is. Y'all better pay attention here. This is it right here. Battle pass, battle pass, battle pass. This is boss room vibes right here. It says it's called season pass, by the way. It says bonus season pass system introduction. Basic season pass system which grants rewards on certain days. The screenshot shows that we are able to obtain currency, potions, and other resources. More information to be provided at a later time. They are planning on keeping their stance firm by Blue Protocol being a free-to-play game. with a season pass element. So I knew that it was a free-to-play game. However, apparently this was their stance from the get-go. However, I did not know that their stance was they'll keep it free to play with a season pass. I didn't know that they were adding a season pass. I just assumed that if they added anything, that would probably be their best bet. Now, this could be tough because, I mean, battle passes, they're hit or miss. If you do battle passes and they're too scummy and it's like, you know, like pay to win or whatever, people aren't going to like that shit. But if you do battle passes where it's like, oh, it's kind of, you know, it's like whatever, it's not that big of a deal. You can get the stuff that they throw in there with like regular money in game or whatever, so it's fine. Then it's no big deal at all, you know? But I zoomed in to see this better, but I don't think it's going to help us. It's in Japanese, and also we, you know, we don't, even if we could read that, we don't know what those things do anyway, so there's that. But there you go. There is a free battle pass, and there's a paid battle pass, by the way. I do know that. There's a free battle pass and a paid battle pass. So there you go. I don't know what the price is for it, but here, this isn't the only way they're going to make money, by the way. They're going to make money from cosmetics and mount skins and player skins and weapon skins and emotes and accessories and stickers and shit like that. They're going to make cosmetics from all that crap. But the battle pass is another way that they'll make cosmetics. I hope they do not fuck this up. I hope it's nothing crazy. I hope it's just one of those like small little, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It's an MMO. If it was like a fucking MOBA, I could easily like give examples. Or if it was like a shooter, I can give examples. But on a MOBA, I don't even know what's fair. Like, you can't be throwing EXP bonuses in here or buff bonuses for PvP or anything of that nature. So I don't really know what the fuck they're going to do here. This is a tough one for an MMO. Like, what could you possibly do? I guess give skins. That could work. Buy a battle pass, you get a skin every X amount of tiers. Sure. That would probably be the safest bet, but I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, back to this. So in conclusion, it says, this concludes the information that was provided for the Blue Protocol community. Number 5, there is still much more information that the developers wanted to share with us, but could not fit the content into this stream. However, they mentioned that there will be an additional stream which will be hosted next month in December of 2022. The next, by the way, that's in like 4 days from now. The next live stream schedule is set to premiere even more features coming to Blue Protocol. We here at the database are extremely excited and happy to finally bring Blue Protocol content, which you've all been waiting for. And there's also so much more to come. And that's about it. So there you go, chat. That's all that we know so far from the Japanese live stream. I will post a link to this particular page in the chat here real quick. And when oh, by the way, the live stream that's coming out, it's going to be in Japanese, obviously. But when the new live stream happens, we'll check that out together, the new stuff, because there's going to be probably a lot of new stuff. The live stream that they had, by the way, the one prior to this, was like 2 hours and some change. That shit was, let me see. I can check it out right now. No, that's the trailer. Yeah, their live stream that they did was hella long. They had a lot of information, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're, yeah, 2 hours and 35 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if their new live stream is at least an hour, minimum an hour. So that's huge. I'm excited. Cannot wait. I've recorded all of this because I was recording the reactions to the funny videos that Brittany shared. So I'll probably upload this on YouTube, and then we'll go from there. So there you go, chat. That's all it is. And also, please like, please subscribe for more Blue Protocol content. And last but not least, in about 4 days from now, there's going to be another Blue Protocol live stream that they're going to have. And whatever that they show in there, I will make sure to make a video for too, assuming it is new content. If it is, I'll make a video, break it down and stuff like that, and I will upload it to the channel. So if you guys want to subscribe, that would be amazing for more Blue Protocol content. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.